Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Phenyo. Welcome to Chat, Talk, and Chill podcast. For today, I have a very special guest who was an SCC member who was serving on the periods from 2022 to 2023 at the Northwest University Vanderbilt campus. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Tebogo Mofokeng. Tebogo, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Tebogo, if there's anywhere online where our folks can find you online, where would that be? Maybe Facebook, Instagram?
On Facebook, I am Tebogo Mofokeng, with Tebogo with an H, Mofokeng, and Instagram, I am Lord_Lieutenant Major.
Lieutenant Major.
That's where you'll find
Guys, for 80% of you that are watching this show are not subscribed to the channel. So do me a favor, click that subscribe button and click the bell notification so that you'll be notified of any latest posts that I'll be making. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Phenyo_SA23. For today's show, we're going to be talking about very interesting topics, specifically on the charge of accountability and all that it is to do with it, merging on with societal constructs. So Tebogo, I just want to ask you, what is your definition of accountability?
My definition of accountability is sticking to your word.
Sticking to your word.
The only way you can be accountable is honoring your word.
Honoring your word.
Yes, your word at the end of the day is your honor. So once you say something, or in the matter or topic of accountability, once you say something, you have to be accountable for what you say. Because whatever you say might lead to an action, which will then inevitably or ultimately lead you to being accountable to the action as well. So keeping your word, in my perspective, I'd like to believe or say it is a form of accountability.
So being responsible for your own actions and keeping to your word,
yes,
is accountability. So then, who is held more accountable in society? Is it men or is it women?
Well, everyone must be held accountable at some point. Men are held accountable in different fields, and especially in society, and women are held accountable in their own fields. For example, if a man goes to a club and meets a woman, the man is going to buy drinks, and with the man buying drinks, we would say it's a form of a manly accountable action or accountability in a man, or to a man, or from a man, that is expected to buy society. So society in a way is expecting a man to buy women drinks in a club as a form of financial muscle, or a muscle that women can see, or this man can take care of me.
So then, what was the last thing that you took accountability for?
The last thing I took accountability for was the accident I was involved in.
The accident that you were involved in. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I was driving somewhere. I was leaving campus and I was on my way to assist a student. I had received a call from a student in Bukhali. So on my way there, someone crashed into me, and from there, I've taken accountability. I went straight to the police station for the police report. I reported it to important stakeholders or involved stakeholders, and I even appeared in front of a disciplinary hearing panel, a committee, which I was fined, and I still need to pay the fine and do my community services. So,
but then here's the burning question then, Major. When a criminal commits a crime, who is to blame? Do we blame the society, or do we blame the criminal?
We blame the house the criminal comes from.
Wow, why do you say that?
Because the health of a house is the health of a society.
But then, doesn't that defeat what accountability is? Because of accountability is sticking to your word.
No, it's not a matter of defeating. Accountability is not a stagnant thing. You trace everything. There's something that you can trace down or back to the original source, or the nip at the bud, the nip of the bud. The house must teach the child accountability, how to be accountable. If a child plays with a glass and he breaks the glass, and the parent was not there, and the parent asks the child, who broke this glass? That is where accountability starts. You understand? And with that accountability, there must come deserved punishment.
There must come deserved.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, the restitution.
Exactly. So if you stay in a house, you break glasses, and no one is asking you who broke the glass, they just sweep the glasses away and throw them away without asking you questions. How many things are you going to break without being held accountable? And this is a precedence that the house that you're growing up in is setting, because you are going to go in a restaurant or out there in the world in a restaurant and you break a glass, and then when they tell you to pay, then you're going to start causing a whole ruckus. You understand what I'm trying to say? Oh, but why must I pay? And they tell you, but this glass is not yours. But you like, I've never paid for a glass, or I never thought this was wrong. Breaking glasses was wrong. You understand what I'm trying to say? So accountability starts from the house. As I say, Dr. Miles Monroe says the health of the house determines the health of the society. So a healthy house will give birth to a healthy people, who will give birth to a healthy society and build a strong society that is more accountable. So the criminal or the person who committed the crime, if that's why in correctional services they have sessions with your psychologist, psychiatrist, they have therapy sessions to try and understand what drove the person to that. Yeah, what drove the person to committing the crime? What is the driving force or the driving factor of the crime you just committed? So that they can try and nip it by the bud.
So then, in other words, you are saying that if a child does not feel the warmth of the village, he will burn down the same village in order to feel its warmth.
Unfortunately, it's like that. Unfortunately, that's a very it's like a law. You understand? There are laws that you do not. Laws cannot be broken. You cannot break laws, because laws will break you. You understand what I'm trying to say? If you buy a pet fish and you keep it in this room in that lunchbox, will it live? It won't live. It will die. Because the law of life dictates that a fish
must be free.
Not even free. A fish lives in water. So for the fish to thrive, it must be in an environment that accommodates it. You understand what I'm trying to say? So if the village does not raise the child, or the child does not feel the warmth of the village, the child will grow up with the mindset of not owing anything to that village in terms of respect, in terms of building, in terms of protecting, in terms of developing that very same village. The child will just say, everyone in this village turned their back against me when I needed them the most. So why now must I try and be this holy child or this good child? When they send me to shops, I go without stealing them and all of that. The child will react to the people who turned back on them. And that's where he starts burning the village, because no one in the village took the time to take the child to rehab, or save the child from a toxic household, or call the police when the father is beating the mother. Instead, they ridiculed that household. They despised the children from the household. And the child will see no problem in burning that village whatsoever.
But then, Major, if you're saying that people can blame society for the criminal offenses, that when a man cheats, can he?
No, I didn't say people blame society. I didn't say that. We do not blame society. We shouldn't in fact blame society, because everything starts with you.
It starts with you.
Everything starts with you. It is a choice.
So if a man cheats, then who's to blame? Do we blame hookup culture, or do we blame actually the man for cheating?
We blame. First of all, we okay, let's leave the hookup culture.
Mm.
Whatever you do, I want to show you an example of something. Please borrow me your phone.
Okay.
Nem, I'm sorry. I'm just going to switch it off. Who do we blame for that? Do we blame gravity or do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I get
Who
you.
do we blame?
I get you.
We know that there is a force called gravity. But who pushed the phone off?
You actually.
So who are we
the one
blaming?
we're blaming you for
Exactly.
that. Okay.
So if a man cheats, who are we blaming?
we're blaming the man for cheating.
Finish.
So then,
we're blaming the person who took the action.
So then, why is it then, if a man cheats, he is labeled a cheater or an animal, right? But when a woman cheats, she was not satisfied by her man. An example with Steve Harvey's situation. Why is it that when men cheat, they are being, burned down to the stake? But when a woman cheats, maybe she was not satisfied, the man did not do a good job, blah, blah, blah. Why do we not blame women and call them out on their behaviors?
Well, with the situation of Steve Harvey, I've been reading the tabloids, and she was the one who was cheating, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Harvey found out he did not want to believe it, as he said in one of the interviews that I listened to over the social medias. And she's the one who filed for divorce, actually. But to answer your question now is, men will always be blamed because as a man, you have the onus to take the burden of everything. The burden is too heavy for the burden of accepting, not even the burden, the feeling of taking responsibility of something that broke you, or something that made you inferior, or something that you don't understand, is quite heavy to carry. You understand? Hence, a lot of women shift the blame. When they cheated, they'll say stuff like, no, I was not happy, I was not satisfied, he didn't do this properly, but when a man cheats, it's we at a point we always say we confess at some point or another. You understand? Like, okay, no. First we will try and deny, no man, I was not cheating. And they should start labeling you all of these things to break your ego and break your confidence. You understand what I'm trying to say? And the people who blame men for cheating are people who are not satisfied with themselves, I'd like to believe. Because first and foremost, a man will go cheat whether you're good or bad. You understand? Whether you are a woman who gives out everything, or a woman who doesn't give out everything or does everything. So if you cheat on a woman as a man, if I cheat on a woman who gives me everything, then that woman has every right to label me the way she wants to, because now I have to take accountability of my actions. I have to now say, you know what, my darling, I cheated, and I cheated because I just wanted to be naughty. I cheated because I wanted to see if I still have game, because there are reasons like that where some men will cheat because they want to see if they still have it in. You understand what I'm trying to say? Or something out of the ordinary.
So then, for a lot of women out there that are trying to find or to fight for equality, do you think it is possible to have equality without equal accountability?
Equality and equal and accountability. It's you're saying one thing twice. So when we say equality, they must be treated equally, and they must have equal accountability.
Yes.
We sum that one sentence up, that everyone must be held accountable equally so. You understand? So if a woman kills you, she must go to jail. If a man kills a woman, he must go to jail.
An example of that, let's say this is a very sensitive topic, whereby a woman is assaulted, right? And the man gets held accountable and he gets sentenced to maybe 15 to 25 years to life, right? And let's flip the tables around, where a man is assaulted and he goes and reports it. Who is going to believe that man and who is going to arrest that woman? You get what I'm saying? They're not held accountable at the same standards. So is it possible for us to be equal without having equal accountability? Yeah.
It's not a matter of accountability. It's a matter of belief. That's what you said now. That man should that man find someone that believes him, then the woman will be held accountable. So it's now a matter of belief and the social construct that happens or that overshadows our police services in the position of male and female. And some men, because before you're a policeman, you're a man. You understand? You come from a certain household, you're raised a certain way, you went through training and orientation to become a police officer that you are now. You understand? So if you've worked in a police station or you've been in a police station, this is a pattern, and it's a common pattern in police stations where police are usually used to receiving women coming in with assaults from men, and very seldom men coming in with complaints with assaults from women. You understand what I'm trying to say? And at a point, I'm not saying we should blame them. I do not blame them, because it's an issue now of saying, let's say you work at a Smarties shop, né? And in this factory or the shop, let's say factory, your duty is to assort a certain color pack of Smarties or certain color group of Smarties. Let's say blue, for instance. Now, out of this machine, you're expecting blue Smarties only. What's going to happen the day you're going to see a pink Smartie coming through that machine? You won't know how to react. You understand? But you're going to ask yourself, but what is this pink thing doing in this blue pack? There must be a problem somewhere. And you're going to try and fix it, or just sweep it under the carpet, and the next process they will take it. However, the problem with our police services is that they do not take the action of trying to find out
what actually happened.
What actually happened. I'm used to a woman coming to me as a police officer reporting a man. Now there's a man reporting a woman. I want to find out exactly what actually happened and what drove this man to the police station to actually report a woman. Because it is a crime. Assault is a crime. It's not a gender-based thing. It is a crime. You understand? If I hit you now, it's assault. Whether you're man or woman, black or white, it is assault. So the police lack that recourse action of having in-depth understanding of the complexity of a man coming into a police station to report a woman, because it means that that woman is dangerous. The woman is dangerous and she must be prosecuted. She must. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I get you.
It's because it's the same way as saying a lion was killed by hyenas. Could you believe that?
Oh.
With the things that you've seen on National Geographic.
A lion being powerful. And
you understand what I'm trying to say? But who knows that it actually happened? But we do not see it. But the moment we read about it on news or National Geographic and other animal channels and websites, that hyenas can actually kill a lion, and they have, then it's going to be something of saying, oh, whoa, hyenas are now actually dangerous.
So then, Major, in a relationship context, right? Do you think we can have equality in a relationship, whether it's friendship, it's blah 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 whatsoever, right? What else relationships have double standards?
Hey, double standards are they are human made, they are man made. A double standard is a man made thing. I really don't believe in the fact that you can't choose between two things. I really can't believe that. As much as there is a possibility where you might find yourself conflicted or torn between two things, you must choose one. You understand what I'm trying to say? For me to go into a relationship and bring my double standards on the table of this is the table of relationship, or okay, fine. I'm bringing love, I'm bringing money, but I'm also bringing double standards. You understand?
Yeah.
And then my partner agrees to that. Then it means she also has a problem that she needs to deal with herself. Because no sane person would come into a relationship where there is double standards, especially if they implicate the relationship, because we different people. You might come with your principles, I come with my principles, and my double standards might impose on your principles. But I'm saying now we are in a relationship. Are you going to stick there? Are you going to stay in the relationship? What are you going to do? So double standards, there's no space for double standards in a relationship. If there is space, the space was made by the people in the relationship, and they should blame the very same thing that got them into the relationship when the relationship breaks away or fades away or ends.
So then, why is it then when a man does wrong, it is the man's fault, but when the woman does wrong, it is society's fault? Why do you think that exists?
The man is the stronghold of a house, of the nation. In the Bible, God says He created man in His own likeness. Let us create man in our own likeness and image. Man, and when I say man, I'm not using it in a
misogynistic term.
Not even misogynistic, in a term of generalizing, because we all are considered men of this world, even women as well. You understand? Male were created first, and they were given dominion over everything. In the class, okay, let's leave the class. Yeah, let's go back to the class.
Let's go back to that class. Yes.
It's easy to blame the bully for making the noise, because he's already known for being troublesome.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say? So in the society, it's always easier to blame men, because we are more likely to end up in jail, to end up in gunfights, to end up being caught drinking and driving, smuggling drugs. You understand what I'm trying to say? Killing and all of that. In a relationship, it's much more easy to blame men as well, because of the societal standard that has been set out for men by society for men. That these people are stupid giants. They break everything that they touch. They cannot fix.
They go to war.
They use force in everything. They are not rational. They cannot use their rational sense of mind to actually, or before taking a decision or doing or engaging in an activity or something. Do you understand? So in a household, when the ceiling falls off,
the man needs to.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you fix it, and then it falls off again. The next time your wife is going to blame you. Oh, but no, man, you didn't fix this thing. It's your fault that it fell. But you saw this thing fail the first time. So how do you she's going to say, I don't know. Maybe you understand what I'm saying? So it's easy for women or for people to blame the initiator, because he's the person or they are the persons that are always active. You understand? Imagine if I was a naughty boy in Kuma, the naughtiest boy, and a unit breaks, like a window breaks in one of the units. The first person they're going to suspect is Major.
It's Major.
All of that. Do you understand? The very same thing that happens with leaders. Lorako is doing what it's doing now, but they're blaming SCC for the situation that's happening. They're blaming SRC structures across all institutions. But what is the SRC saying? What are the SEC saying? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's easy to blame someone who has already been given the limelight by society.
Who's in a position of power.
Do you understand? In a position, in an advantageous position. Because, dog, in a relationship, it's just a final wheel. That's why we simplify everything. We come to a union of two people. This one is supported by society. This one is not supported by society. So the person who is likely to be most blamed for everything is the one that is not supported by society.
That's very powerful. What are actually women exclusively held accountable for?
Well, women are first and foremost, and this might sound some type of misogynistic way or tribalistic way, but women are exclusively held accountable for marriages that do not work out, not being able to expand a family, or not being able to give birth to their children, and a household that doesn't have dignity in a way, because as the same way a job is an extension of a man's personality, a house is an extension of a woman's personality.
She converts it into a home.
You understand? So if you see a house, you see the woman's personality, and if you understand a man's job, you understand his personality. If you're, listen, I'm a CEO of ESCO. You understand? That gives a man pompous. It gives him a sense of euphoria and societal standing or public standing. You see yourself as a very important person. No one can tell you anything later because you're a CEO of a powerhouse or of a private company. You go to a house, or I visit you at your home, at your house. The first thing I'm going to say is, Phenyo, your wife has built a beautiful house. And I'm going to tell her this, oh man, you have a beautiful home. All compliments regarding a house go to the wife. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And we congratulate the man for marrying this woman because of the house that she has built. So if a woman fails to do that for a man, then there's the issue. She will be held accountable, but you failed to build me a house. You failed to give me children. You failed to keep this, to make this marriage work.
Okay then, can you think of any societal problems that aren't typically blamed on men?
Well,
and the lights went down. Yo, that is tough. That is tough. Guys, don't forget to really follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Phenyo_SA23. And like and subscribe down below. Drop a comment and tell us what you think, because this is about to get heated as we carry on. We'll be right back after the quick break. Alright, Major, I want to ask you then, seeing that you could not name any societal problems that aren't typically blamed on men, how do we expect men to have an emotional well-being while else where they are living in a society that always blames them?
You know, this is where a mother's love comes into play. No matter how, and I'd really like to encourage this to all men or males, that no matter how old you are, a mother's love is the closest thing that we can ever feel, or is the closest thing to God's love. That should be your direction of recourse, or your confidant, or your refugee in especially times like these. You must be able to have a safe space in your mother, grandmother, aunt, sister. If you do not have any of these people in your life, if they passed away, or you just don't know your mother, or you don't have anyone, then hey,
It's going to be hard.
It is going to be hard, but not impossible. We need to start nurturing young men from a young age. They need to go back to seeing how a man treats a woman. And this lies on us, the upcoming generation, that the person that you marry, you must make sure that your children see the love that you give her all the bloody time. You understand? There's one of the colleagues that I work with on campus, one of the colleagues, officers actually, that I work with. And this lady says that, and she always says this, she's old, she has her own child. She says this, I want what my parents have. The way my mother looks at my father, the way my father looks at my mother, that is the very same thing I want for myself and for my child. That's what I'm trying to say. So she grew up in a very fruitful, in a very loving, in a very safeguarded and healthy house, where a woman always knew her role, not her place. Because when we say place, we're now putting positions to this. A woman understands her role as a woman, someone's wife, a mother to a child. You understand? I was raised up in a house like that as well. I was actually raised by my grandparents, where my grandmother and my grandfather respected each other. My grandfather would go out and drink and all of that, but my grandmother knew that 8 o'clock we have to eat. My grandfather knew that by 8 o'clock I must be at home. You understand what I'm trying to say? He taught us discipline, he taught us self-discipline, order, and just knowing, you could clearly distinguish who's the man, who's the woman. And there was no competition of power or competition of position amongst the two. My grandmother knew her role, my grandfather knew his role.
So the main root is that even though men don't have an emotional well-being, they need to get connected with their mothers back.
Yes.
What about men that don't have mothers?
That's what I'm saying. For them, do you know what they say? It's a funny theory, and I couldn't believe it up until I met the person that really made me feel this way. A boy child is most likely to marry someone who reminds him of his mother. You understand?
Or else a female child is more likely to marry someone who reminds her
of the father. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, if you don't have a mother, there must be some sort of connection. It's either you can feel her via people telling you that you look like your mother, man. You look like your mother, you remind me of your mother. Or
that will be called a mama's boy moves.
No,
but women don't like that nowadays, you know.
No, but what is wrong with the mama's boy?
I mean, like, they feel like you love your mother more than them, and everything that you involved is your mother, and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, but who says loving your mother more than your wife is wrong?
So that's what they feel like. I don't know, you know.
Listen, I'll always love my mother. You understand? I'll always love my mother before anything or before anyone.
Okay.
Even if I do get in marriage, I would understand the fact that I have to now build my own family.
I hear you. I
have my wife and I'll respect her.
Here's a trick question. Just to put you in a scenario. Let's say your wife and your mother are having an argument, right? And while they're having an argument, and then your wife says, babe, get in the car. And your mom says, Tebogo, sit down. What do you do?
I solve the argument.
No, you can't solve the argument.
No, I have to solve it. Because it shows that if I sit down and I go to the car and there's no one to solve the argument, then you've already built, you've let a reed grow, like poison. That's like a cancerous
poison that might come back and
you understand? You setting you're letting loose what you can't control.
Mm.
Because there is going to be a point where if you listen to your wife and you get into that car, tomorrow your mother might be in the hospital on a deathbed and your wife tells you, don't go there.
Mm.
What then? What then? And if you sit down and not listen to her and she drives off and she's in an accident and she dies, what are you going to say to your mother? Aren't you going to hate your mother? That is what I'm trying to say. So the perfect thing to do or the right thing to do there is
take
to
the
solve.
lead and
Okay,
solve.
listen, I understand you're angry, my love, so that, please, baby, mom's, do you understand? Okay, let us talk.
Let us talk.
So that we squash this. I will get in the car when everything is fine, or I will sit down when everything is fine.
But then what if nothing ever becomes fine, that they like
Phenyo,
the relationship is tarnished because of that argument?
no, dog. You. Hence, I'm saying you will be the one that lets the relationship lead to tarnishment. Because seeing that you are the person who is level-headed here, you must be able to take the stand and say, you know what, my love, as much as you're my wife, but this is where you go. You're not supposed to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Moms, as much as you know the magris, you show them that you're going to judge them the same.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
They're equally held accountable.
Do you
for their
understand?
actions. Yes.
You can even put them in the position of saying that if you guys are not willing to fix this, then both of you are going to lose me. Let's see how they react then.
You flip the card.
Yeah, no, it's fine because I'm not involved. Seeing that you guys don't want to listen, you guys are going to lose me.
Good.
And if I get in that car, I'm going to leave my wife with my mother there.
And then they solve that.
They'll see how they solve it. They'll see
how they solve it.
So
okay.
that's how I really believe you should go back to building emotionality or emotional well-being for men. We need to get in touch with our feminine side and not...
What do you mean? We need to get in touch with our feminine side.
With your feelings.
Okay.
You need to get in touch with your feelings.
But then men that are in touch with their feelings are the ones that end up doing bad in society. Like men that feel angry, they do not know how to control their anger and then they go and do ballistic shit.
I think
men that
they get angry and they don't
know how to control it.
Exactly. So what if you get angry and know how to control the anger? Would you do bad? No. You won't. And that's where your safe space is either your mother or your sister or your wife, your girlfriend or your grandmother, someone who it can be another guy. Someone, it must just be an environment where you can say, you know what, Phenyo, I'm angry and I want to move this guy. And you understand? And then you say to me, no, Measure, or you are able to calm me down or to redirect my anger, or you are angry. Understand you're angry, but let's go play rugby. Or let us go paintball shooting. Or let us go something. Let's go play soccer or let's go swimming. Bungee jumping to redirect the anger so that you don't do bad in society. You understand? You need to find a safe haven where you can deal with your emotions and deal with them and replenish yourself and forget about them. You understand? You have to feel, you must allow yourself to feel everything, but you must do it in a controlled environment. If the environment is not there at that point, you must make sure that you find that environment.
So then, if men are typically blamed for causing all the harm or the bad in society, why are they never credited for bringing the good out of the society, like creating food restaurants, building the cars that we drive, creating the roads, building the houses that we live in? Why are they never credited for contributing the good that they bring in the society, rather than they look at the bad that they actually do? For instance, men are the ones that assault women. Men are the ones that end up committing GBV and other types of stuff. Why are they always looked at or blamed for bringing the bad in the society, instead of being looked at to say, oh, we thank you, men, for bringing the good in our society?
Being a man is a thankless job. And if we had to say thank you for everything men did, we might end up not doing anything. Because when someone says thank you to you,
you feel proud.
You feel proud of yourself. You understand? You feel you are happy with yourself. You're like, okay, I'm happy. But there are people who will take the thank you and say, okay, thank you is done. They might feel that if I do not provide for my family, or for me to provide for my family, I must be, I don't know how to put this. It's like saying we're thanking a fish for swimming. You understand? I mean, it's your job. You don't thank a fish for swimming. You don't thank a dog for barking. It's just like that.
It's the duty.
We don't thank a man for being a man. We can't. If we do, then it's fine. Well, thank you for building us the roads. Thank you, whatnot. Thank you. But remember, when you say thank you, it might set a precedence, and this is where I'm struggling to articulate all of this. It might set a precedence of saying now, the next thing that you have to do, we must ask you, Phenyo, please build a bridge for us. Please and thank you.
So then, Major, what determines what problems we blame on others, or you blame yourself for, and the problems that you blame the society for? How do you distinguish between that?
It goes back to how you feel and what problem is that. Do you understand? The issue of being an orphan, you might blame society because you don't know. You just grew up in an orphanage, you don't know your parents, you don't know your mother, your father, but you might blame society. And this is more of you not knowing who to blame. Then you blame society, or then you blame other people. You start hating the caretaker at the orphanage. Because no one, Phenyo, everything has an explanation. Everything, though. Everything. If it happens, there might not be a reason for it happening, but there's an explanation of, okay, this is what happened. Why did it happen? We don't know. Why do accidents happen? There might be a lot of speculations, but we don't know. Because accidents are not only subjected to drunken driving people, even sober people. Even you find an instance where someone sober driving into someone drunk. Who do we blame there?
Do we blame the person who's drunk, or do we blame the person who's
Do you understand?
sober?
Who drove into the drunk guy? We don't know who to blame. So it will depend on how you feel and what you're blaming the person for, who you want to redirect that energy of blame to.
But then, are facts more important than feelings, or feelings are more important than facts?
Feelings or facts birth feelings. I think it's a cause and effect relationship. Feelings are something that, feelings are the truth. Do you understand? That's why
when feelings change, though. I mean,
yes,
like, how can they be true if they change, if they're not consistent? Because truth is consistent.
But who changes them?
Who changes them?
It's the person.
Yeah, the individual. Yes.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? In court, you might go to court now. You raped someone. Ne? The facts are here. Okay, fine. Phenyo didn't rape this person. And this girl starts crying. Hysterically so. To a point that the court cannot even carry on. Which one has more precedence or has more advantage over the case? Is it the fact, or is it the crying? Or is it the feelings?
The feelings.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because even if you knew the facts of your wife cheating on you, because of feeling, you end up killing this guy. Or
you become irrational.
Do you understand? Or this man raped your daughter, and because of feelings, you killed him, or you beat him to a pulp, and then he opens a case of assault against you. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now the young girl has balls to took her to the hospital. You want to protect your baby girl, or my baby. I'm sorry. Take a shower. Just, we don't want you smelling or thinking of anything. Just be clean. Must smell nice. Then you go to court. You get to court. Oh, but this man raped my daughter.
But then, is it true forgiveness if you don't let go of the pain, the anger, the turmoil that the person caused you? Is it true forgiveness if you just keep holding on to what the feeling that you felt when the person caused you the pain? Do you think it's true forgiveness, or people should forgive and forget about it and leave it that and never think about it again? What do you think on that?
Forgiveness is for you. It is a way to heal yourself. That's where self-healing starts, when you forgive yourself, or when you forgive, because in order for you to forgive someone, there must be a point of now saying, if I was there, then that wouldn't have happened. You understand? You start blaming yourself. There's a sense of start blaming yourself. Then you're going to come to, I cannot forgive myself. I hope that my daughter forgives me for not being there when this guy raped her. I hope this, I hope that. You need to forgive them. Hence, there's feelings. You react. You understand? It's
like I need to let it out, you know.
When I just want to
just give you some punches.
You understand? Yeah. 1 2. After physically clarifying that person, I'll be fine. But with forgiveness,
do you think there needs to be restitution for actions? Would that mean that you have forgiven the person if you have restitution? That the person needs to pay?
No, it's not a matter of forgiveness when you do that. It's a matter of satisfying your emotion. You understand? The same way you crave an ice cream. You satisfy your crave by buying ice cream. You understand what I'm trying to say? It doesn't mean you have bad blood with the ice cream man or anything. So if you hit that person, it doesn't mean you've forgiven him as well. Because forgive, it's a lingering thing. It's a long thing. It's a intangible long-term feeling. Because you need to say now, sir, you raped my daughter. I forgive you. As much as it hurts, because the moment you forgive that person is the moment you teach your heart to forget about it. The moment you think about him, your heart must tell you, we've forgiven this person. Let him pass. And that's how you can start coping and start building and focus. Okay, fine. Since we forgave this person, let's deal with this case. This is what he did. It helps you be rational in building a case, and the court not saying no, but the father is emotional. He cannot be part of this case. He's compromising the case. We need to talk to the daughter. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you need to forgive that person, number one, and you need to forgive yourself. For if you're blaming yourself for anything that had happened. But forgiveness is for you, so that you can be able to
move forward.
You can move forward. Because the more you hold on to this, the more you think about that person, your day is ruined. You cannot even function. Whatever that you're doing,
it's always trauma.
Because you're always holding on to it like this. So tell him, okay, fine, nonsense, bye-bye.
I forgive you.
I forgive you. As much as I'm still angry and I want to react, I forgive you.
Then would it be fair to allow that person back in your life again?
No. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to allow the person back in your
so
life.
They should vie?
Yes. It's like in a relationship, if your wife cheats on you and you catch her and you file for a divorce and you guys divorce, it doesn't mean that you now want her to go die like a dog in the trenches or what. Remember, she's still the mother of your children. You have to forgive and say, you know what, my darling, I do forgive you. What you did was wrong, and I don't know why you couldn't have called me, whatever the case may be. However, I forgive you, but I cannot now live with you. I cannot. I still care for you, but I'll care for you from a distance, arm's length away. Stay there as long as I know where you stay, and I can bring the kids over to your house and all of that. There's no bad blood, and you have no reason in bad mouthing your wife to your children. You have no reason to do that, because this was an adult thing. You dealt with it in an adult way, in a rational way. You don't know, you don't even need to set a bad reputation for your wife. You can't do that, or for the person who did you wrong. You understand? It's like in a friendship. If you catch me sleeping with your girlfriend and we're best friends,
Who's to blame?
I'm the one to blame, and your girlfriend to blame, because she allowed it and I carried it out. So both of us we are being blamed. But now, you forgiving me, are we still going to be best friends? No, things will never be.
We'll never be the same. You
will never be the same. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You cross the line. So it's just going to be from there on. Show me, show you, just like that. And no more no longer close, no longer together, no longer drinking out together and going out together. You've forgiven me, but I cannot now come and eat at your table anymore. You can still eat, but not at my table. Eat there.
That's very strong. That's very strong. Now, Major, is it fair for a woman to blame society for the consequences of her own personal choices, such as having a baby or choosing a career that over-sexualizes her body?
It will go back to the house. If a woman doesn't blame the society, she's going to blame her parents. And we've seen this in our communities. We've seen this in our society, where a daughter and the mother do not click. They always butting heads.
But then if a daughter gets pregnant and she's like 13, right? Who's to blame? Are we blaming the daughter, or are we blaming the parents for not treating or teaching the daughter manners?
13 years. I have a baby sister. When she was in grade 7 when she was 13 years old. She was in grade 7. How do you let a grade 7-year-old get pregnant as a parent?
You were not watching.
Why?
So do we blame the parents for the kids' actions?
Yes.
Why?
The Bible says that a child will be punished according to the sins of the parent. Because that's where the life of the child starts. At home. Charity begins where? At home. So, why can't we blame the home if the charity is now poisonous to the society?
So then, does that absolve the kid from taking responsibility?
Phenyo, she's 13 years old.
What was she doing when she was having sex?
She might have been raped.
No. She had sex with somebody. She gave consent to the person who's the same age as her.
Listen, in this country, you cannot give consent up until you're 18. 13-year-olds, where do they get the consent from? And how did it end up that 13-year-old
had sex with someone who's the same age as her?
They found themselves in a confinement where they were not even supervised. How? What were the teachings that the mother gave to this 13-year-old girl? The father. What? You can. If my sister was pregnant in grade 7, I don't know what I would have done.
So who do you blame? Is the blame now on you as the big brother? And
listen, I was going to blame everyone at home.
Everyone at home.
Now I'm here at school. I'm studying.
Just to give a
but how do you let that girl get pregnant? Where did she get pregnant? Maybe the environment of where she got pregnant would say a lot of how she got pregnant, or where they had sex. Because if that grade 7-year-old, 13-year-old girl got pregnant under your own roof as a parent, Please leave.
So it's not their fault that they got pregnant. It's the parents' fault that they actually fell pregnant.
You do know what? No. A 13-year-old can kill her father.
Do we have a juvenile prison for them to go to prison?
It's fine. Grade 7, you still in, you now in your teenage, your early teenage years. Grade 7, and then you kill your father as a girl. What do you think the court is going to say? Do you think the court is going to say
you are found guilty? In the eyes of the law, we are all equal. Whether you are 13, you are this, unless you had like schizophrenia or blah 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 whatsoever. You know,
there is a point of
so
sanity that they're going to consider, or they have to consider. Holy, there must be something that the father did for the girl to kill him. There must be something, because I'm telling you now, as much as they would want to charge her, she might receive a suspended sentence. Family members might come through. Holy, there is no way a 13-year-old could think so clear as to kill a 46-year-old man.
What do you think that about
50-year-old
13-year-olds in America that go in and shoot young children, bring guns in the school? And
Then those
should we blame the parents for them killing?
Yes,
or should we
yes.
blame the kids for killing because they're capable? It's not like, man, you don't know what you're thinking.
Listen.
You know what a gun does.
Listen. But Emma, do you know it's like what? I don't know. Okay, let's do this. Now, let's leave that. We blame the parents. What's okay?
We blame the parents.
We blame Emma. We blame.
Okay, if there's no parents, then what do we say? Who do we blame?
The orphanage. Oh, listen, Phenyo. What I want you to understand, my brother, is that accountability will always be taken. Do you understand? Because what you want me to say is to blame the child, and then you're going to ask me about society. That's what you want to tell me. So what I'm saying, we blame the parent. We tell the parent, oh, listen, because you are part of the NRA, National Rifle Association in America. Your son knows this. He's seen your guns. He has heard you talk,
and he took it.
And he took it.
So the parent should go get a sentence in jail.
Exactly. Because how does a 13-year-old get access to a firearm? How? The police are going to ask that. The same way a 13-year-old would drive and crash into someone. They're going to ask, but who gave you the car keys? It was my father. They're going to fetch the father and say, because your son caused this accident, you will not pay this man.
I hear
you understand?
I hear you.
So those American boys who kill people while they're still 13 and still young, their parents must be apprehended and taken to jail. They must be taken to jail, and then a course of reaction and correction must be taken with the 13-year-old.
So then, does that absolve the kid of having restitution and paying for their own actions?
It's not absolving the kid. Hence I'm saying we must bring the kids to a point of correction. Or listen, what you did was wrong. And in doing that, these are the consequences that you're going to face. You're going to lose your father to the justice system, to jail. You're going to live with your mother. Or you only have your mother left. You will be situated or placed somewhere
in a
juvenile, so that you understand what you did was wrong. We'll give you a year or two. But your father, because his firearm murdered someone, will give him life. And every time you see your father in prison, just know it's because of you. He failed to get you into order. Now he will suffer the consequences, and you will live to see him suffer those consequences.
I hear you. So then, why is it that when women do bad stuff or bad behavior, they're never called out on the bad behavior. But when men do bad behavior,
no, they are called
they're
out.
Always called out. Give me an example.
The word ratchet. The word ratchet, the word ghetto, the word bitch. Those are some type of those are some labels that are used to call out women. Why are you being a bitch?
So if then she behaves that way, would that absolve her from taking any personal responsibility to say, I dress in a certain way, right? Like a thingy. And does that absolve me from taking any personal responsibility? Oh, you can't call me that. But what else? I'm the one who's like over-sexualizing myself.
That one is very tricky. That one is very tricky because it's you would find prostitutes who went into prostitution to make means end or means end. You understand? You'd find people who dress the way they dress because they feel like it makes them feel good. It expresses the inner diva or the inner energy.
But then society views that as, as promiscuity, and it views it as like that word.
Promiscuity is action. Promiscuity is it's adultery. That's promiscuity. You understand? Me walking around with my shorts and everything, that's not promiscuity.
But then if people can call you because you over-sexualize yourself, do you have a right to complain, to say,
but
you can't call me that?
What is over-sexualizing?
Like over-sexualizing, like as in like you went way, way short, or you are like too revealing.
In KwaZulu-Natal, young maidens walk with the bare breasts in KwaZulu-Natal in the villages.
In a society that we live in, it's not like that. You and I know that if a woman walks out,
I'm fighting the issue of over-sexualizing. There's no such thing as over-sexualizing. There is no such thing.
Why do you say that?
Because we have traditions where women walk naked around men for years,
but
and nothing has happened.
That's a different society.
Though. So is she not over-sexualizing herself?
In a different society where people think...
Is she not over-sexualizing?
If a woman was to walk...
Is she not sexualizing herself?
No, not necessarily. But if a woman...
Why?
Because it's a different society.
It's funny how the person that has clothes, but they just short, is over-sexualizing herself.
But then it's a different society.
Who is walking bare breasts in
KZN.
In KZN, Lesotho, or something, right? Is not over-sexualizing.
It's a different society. For instance, if a woman was to walk on campus naked,
how is it?
Should we then tolerate her to walk because it's her tradition to walk naked?
There are laws that restrict that.
There are no laws in KZN that restrict
it's fine.
It, right? It's a different society.
It's fine. But I'm not talking about an issue of people walking around naked in this society. You are saying because you are wearing short things, you're over-sexualizing yourself. I'm asking you, someone who's walking naked, isn't that person over-sexualizing themselves?
In our society, yes, they are.
Are they?
Yeah, in our society.
What is over-sexualizing?
Like dressing too revealing, like if your parts that are private.
Who determines that is over-sexualizing?
Like for instance.
It's men.
It's men, yes.
You see? You see? Why can't we control our men now?
What do you mean, why can't we control our men now?
Not even control. Why can't we... Phenyo, dog. I want you to understand that everything starts at home. Everything starts at home. Dog. I'm telling you like
charity begins at home.
Everything, it starts at home, dog. When we grew up with our cousins and slept at our grandmother's house, we used to bath with our female cousins there. Do you understand?
That's a different society, yes.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, yes, I hear you.
It's the issue of us growing up in a household.
It was perfectly normal.
It was perfectly normal to see a girl naked. Do you understand? Even when you were young, when your mother was bathing, she would say, no, come in and take whatever you take and leave. You understand? It's perfectly normal. Because you grew up where you say, oh, no, this is my mother, this is my cousin, my shitakia. Finish and clear. The idea of over-sexualizing, you cannot now say, if you grew up in a household where you know how a man treats a woman, how a woman treats a man and all of that. Even though if you have a mother who is still young and she's still beautiful and she still feels like she wants to express her femininity and she's wearing short stuff and all of that, you can't tell me now that your mother is dressed she's over-sexualizing herself.
Why do you think men learn that women are being over-sexualized?
From home!
Mara, then, don't you think porn is the biggest contributor to men?
How did porn start?
How did what?
Porn start.
I do not know.
I don't know as well.
You don't know as well?
I don't know as well. But, hence I say, porn, people get paid for porn. People get paid for being prostitutes. You understand? There are decent women who go into prostitution because they need to feed 3 children. They come from a child-behaved family.
So then if they get called for their behavior, would it be fair? Because of they are the ones that are doing that. Regardless whether they're doing it for providing a family or for... Does that absolve them from taking any personal responsibility?
But what
I know if I'm going into this field, I am going to be catcalled, I'm going to be called like this.
90% of the time, you drink alcohol knowing that you're going to become drunk. And people are going to call you drunk. Does that absolve you from taking responsibility? It doesn't.
It doesn't. You have to take accountability for it.
You took accountability the moment you drank that bottle of whiskey. That's the accountability you took. And whatever action that comes after that.
You know, it's the consequences of your own action.
You understand? When I'm going to fall here, I'm going to fall in the river, I'm going to smoke. You already know the line of course. This is how my day is going to move, and this is what I'm prepared to do. Finish and clear. So whoever is taking, who takes the decision of raping, of drinking, going into prostitution, stealing money.
They need to take accountability and personal responsibility.
And to show that they've planned this or they're willing to take accountability, they will even plan a way to hide what they did. Boy, after I steal this money, I'm going to kill these people and flee. Go to another country or change identity or something. Until the end of the road catches them and they're like, okay, now it's time to be accountable. Did you take the money? Yes, I did. We thank you.
Go to jail.
Case closed.
So then how do you personally decide what societal constructs to adopt and what societal constructs to reject?
Charity begins at home. Principle and values and morals that you learn at home will be the very same well-rounded toolbox to help you reject and accept some societal norms and standards. If you know your values, if you know your principles, if you know your norms, you'll be fine.
Okay then, who do you think cares more about what society thinks? Is it men or women? What do you think?
Women.
Women. So then, who do you think is more likely to follow trends? Is it men or women?
Women.
Women. Okay then. Why do people think... Okay then. Why do women care about what society thinks if they are living in a society that oppresses them?
The society is not oppressing them now.
They think that the society is oppressing
That's the
them.
problem.
Yes.
It's what they think. But the society now actually favors women than it does men. And it favors them.
So men are more likely to be held accountable than women.
Men are more likely to be not even held accountable for what?
For their own actions than women, because women will be absolved because of...
Men, yes. Men are more likely to be held accountable because as men, we are brave people though. We can say, oh, hot man, if you back on twin mona no. You understand?
Skip as well.
Skip. Guy. You understand? And women are more of please. Women are supported by the society, but they are also exploited by the society. And hence there's a lot of pulling of directions. There's women who say, no, model culture is frowning upon plus size. There are women who are pushing for what's this? Body
positivity.
Yeah, body positivity. Your plus size models, your BBWs. You understand? Women who like you must embrace your body.
But then if a man is like that, he's more likely to be called chief, go to the gym. Because
not even. No, because amongst men, you find that it's us with pot bellies who are actually proud of our pot bellies. And we actually frown upon guys who have six packs and go to gyms and everything. You understand? Because even in the olden days, there were no gyms, but there were warriors who were well built. But men with pot bellies were considered in mid condition. You understand? Fit condition, physical condition, a strong man who can fight. A strong man who can provide for a family. You understand? Not your six packs or what. So we find trends of cultures cancelling each other out from the same group. Because now, if a Victoria's Secret model meets a plus size model, what do you think the conversation is going to be like?
That's very powerful then. Major, what do you think? Why do you think on this question basically, why do so many people think that all men carry the power, while else there's a few percentage of men at the top of the food chain?
What power?
The power as in like the power to control the patriarchy, to say all men run the world, while else there's a top few people at the top of the food chain.
You're asking a question based on capitalism. Now you're asking the question of men who have money and men who don't have money. You understand what I'm trying to say? That is an economic stance on its own. But ultimately, all men have either an upper hand somewhere.
In what way?
If you're not a CEO, you can be a foreman, you can be a supervisor. Males can be the dominating gender in that workplace. You understand what I'm trying to say? Men will be looked first or preferred first over women in particular jobs, certain jobs. You understand? The very same what you're asking now can also be asked in modeling. Why do we have more female models and not male models? You understand? Because it's in the innate nature. It's innate.
You say men prefer being in situations like this, while else women prefer.
Exactly. You understand? So men are at the top of the food chain, but in the different dynamics.
Could it ever be possible for a woman to hold much power in society?
We have Angela Merkel. She was the Prime Minister of Germany. Theresa May. Margaret Thatcher, Queen Elizabeth. We have a lot of women in power. Oprah Winfrey. We have a lot of women in power.
How is it possible to hold someone accountable if they always play the victim?
That one. How do you hold someone accountable if they always play the victim?
Yeah.
You just give them enough rope to hang themselves. Someone who plays the victim usually is the one who started the whole shit that happened in the first place. So at one point, you are going to find that person. And you're going to catch that person red-handed. You give them enough. You know, it's like saying one. When you're at home, you like glass is always break. You have children. And Now, time and again, mugs always break or mugs always go missing. And out of the two children, one always says, no, I'm going to give him two. You understand? And this one says, no, give him two. And Ebam Supang, says, I know, but everything, you blame everything on me. What. Equally. Do this. You take the one child, you take it to your grandmother's house or your mother's house, and you stay with one. And you check on both sides what's happening. And you check on both sides for what's happening. If a mug goes missing at your mother's house, then the culprit is there. If the mug goes missing here, then the culprit is here. Then you tell that person, okay, when I can nonsense. You set up environments that will make the victim nature do the thing. Because if victim mentality wants you, you must do something. Because you're seeking some sort of affirmation or love. You understand? So if you see that I'm alone and my father's in there, but I need attention, you break the mark. You go that side. Who broke the mark? Papa said na and now do cannot go be one
I hear you, Major. I hear you. So then, if we are all victims to society, why should any one of us be held accountable? For instance, men are victims to violent crime. Men are victims to this, and this. Women are victims to GBV. Why should anyone be held accountable?
Because if you're not held accountable, anarchy will rule.
Anarchism. So then, last question, Major. For someone who says, that's just the way I was raised. Now, if they were raised to be racist, if they were raised to be homophobic or any other phobia that is there, is it a valid excuse for them to behave in such a manner?
Because they were raised that way, it is valid. However, whatever you learn, you can unlearn. There was a show that I watched on YouTube. I can't remember what it was called, something after 21, where they took children from different backgrounds, black, white, Xhosa, Zulu, whatever the case may be. And they showed us the life of these children. And one of these children was Willem Albert. Willem Albert, a prominent Springbok player, won the World Cup in 2007 with Victor Matfield. And he was part of this documentary where he grew up, and while they were young, they would ask them questions of, how do you feel about black people? No, I don't like them, black people do this. My father is a black boy on the farm, and he listens to me. You understand? This is a fucking 20, not even 22, a grade 2, grade 3-year-old boy. Oh no, I have a black boy, Sipu is a goeie boy, hy luister vir my, hy doen wat ek sê, hy moet doen wat. You understand? And then they go ask a black child, oh man, how do you feel about white people? No, man, those people live there, we live here, they're oppressing us, that's what I know, all of that. And then they take this video when they turn 21. They go back to them again, after years later, they come back 21, when they turn 21, and they ask them the very same questions. Oh, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about black people? After answering, this white boy, Willem Alberts, said, whatever that I learned, or however I was raised, I saw that it was the wrong way. So now I have black friends. I don't have a problem with black people. They actually relaxed, and they want to learn about our culture. And I'm also open to learning their culture. And the black boy child was it's not Max Maponyane. Max Maponyane has two sons. I think it's his second born. But it was Max Maponyane's son. He said over and over, I'm chilled, I don't have a problem with them. And I've been living with them, or I went to school, I have white friends. You understand what I'm saying? So it shows that whatever that you learn, you can unlearn it if it's not serving the purpose that it should serve. That's how the way I was raised, they right up until they learn a new thing. Or listen, fine, you were raised in racism, but you see, there's no longer racism. We have people dating like races dating each other. We have cross culture. You understand? And that should show you that there's no longer racism. So what are you saying since this is the current situation now? What are you saying? Are you still going to carry on with the racist mentality? Or are you going to unlearn, change it, and do something different?
Major, if there was anything that you wish your audience could learn or could know, leave them with a quote that will inspire them. What would you want to say to the audience out there?
Hey, guys, all I'm saying is that the health of the society, and I will always stick to this quote because this quote is the reason why Phenyo is asking me a lot of these questions. The health of the house determines the health of the society. In whatever we do, it is up to us as the upcoming generation to establish healthy houses so that we can have a healthy society. Finish it, Clark.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tebogo. Ladies and gentlemen, that was it for our show. I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Phenyo_SA23. And also, guys, we are also on Rumble at Chat Talk and Chill. And you can find us also on Rumble at P Crazy News. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. I hope that you have a lovely week. Cheers.
Weekend. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.